Hello and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition venue set in the Kingdom of Apples. Today's scene takes place in, well, whatever part of Staten Island isn't burnt down, which is, conveniently where this library is located. On a small sanctuary of not potholes or burning terror fires.
Or all the holes.
Yeah, just geez, Staten, get your shit together.
And maybe not Bloody River too.
Yeah, so much yuck. But amidst all this yuck is a small sanctuary, at least as much as a Slua's dwelling can be. The library of Vanessa Oleander, where we find one of our characters getting ready to visit. And this isn't throwing you under the bus since you're the only one in the scene. Misha, what are you doing?
I noticed that yesterday you didn't throw me under the bus.
You get so sad when I do.
I've come to the point that I expect it. It's fine. No, yeah, she would have, contacted ahead, whether that's calling or whatever it is that Vanessa prefers.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows Slua and their etiquette. But then, assuming that a time was set, she would be knocking on the door, maybe a minute early.
Mm-hmm. There's like the slight shuffling of feet before the door opens. The bells jingle. Vanessa's milky eyes peer out from the open door. Misha, come in. You're more than welcome to just walk in.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that, so thank you. I just try not to overstep bounds. This is a place you control,
I understand, but I have no qualms with you, and I appreciate anybody who's trying to learn things. So, I mean, unless you've suddenly decided that you're going to go around spreading jam on my books, I think we understand each other fairly well.
Well, I did forget my jam today.
Oh, it's for the best. Please, come in, step away from the soot and rubble.
She walks in and Inaba's sort of like hopping along after her, or walking, or whatever it is that jackrabbits do.
Yeah.
Moving along after, because that is how this works at this point. She doesn't really put Inaba in the bag at this point unless there's a reason to.
Yeah. She'll give like a polite nod to Inaba as well.
Inaba's a well-behaved bunny. It's fine. She won't actually be eating books today, so it's fine.
That's good. That's a quick way for Vanessa to go from you can just come in to, call ahead.
As I replace the books with lettuce.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she'll walk in. And she's just gonna kind of look to Vanessa and just be like, I was hoping I could talk to you for a second, actually, before I do any other things.
Of course. Would you like a spot of tea or anything?
Sure.
I think I might even have a few biscuits left over from Christmas.
Just the tea is good.
She gives a nod. She'll start making tea and beckon you to the kitchen area because this did used to be a home. What? She, sets out the slightly chipped teacups. And she does plate some of the rather stale cookies, but you aren't expected to eat any of them.
That's fine. Whatever she feels like she needs to do. Besides, dipped in tea, they might actually be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as you dip them.
Well, of course she would. She's a slua. They have no teeth. So,
But yeah, once she's, once things are in place and she looks okay, um, she'll take a sip of her tea and she'll just be like, "Well, I trying to figure out some things. And I was hoping you might be able to offer some direction."
well, if I can, I certainly will.
Well, I had heard that perhaps you might have some skill in oneromancy.
And she quietly nods her head. This is how I sort of, with the help of my little friend, she kind of indicates the little, currently very petite spider on her shoulder, but you've seen it get much bigger.
Oh yeah.
With the help of my little friend and a little bit of my own magic, this is how we have traipsed through the dreaming.
That's kind of what I was thinking. How much has William told you about the situation that has put us all into this nightmare situation?
Well, between William and Nathaniel, who's here pretty much daily, I've managed to pick up a little bit here and there. Baku he's an old Japanese legend. Mara, well, she looks to make sure like nobody else has like suddenly walked into the library, but of course they haven't. You would have heard the bells. Mara is a little easier to understand if you are one of my kith, perhaps.
Can you explain?
If you'll give me a moment, I'll show you. And she sort of slinks away. And if you watch where she goes towards like the darker part of the library where the bookshelves are very, very close to each other. And she returns a moment later with a very, very old book. The pages, instead of paper, are like a tanned leather parchment. It's very old. And she slides it. I'm sure you've heard that at some point somebody gifted Mara, which created the initial imbalance between the two of them.
Yes. Yes, I have.
And she opens the book and turns the pages. And she points to a passage. And it talks about the individuals who had gifted Mara these powers.
Does it say what the powers are?
Well, they are specific gifts that are recognizable from kids. Her ability to kind of slink and slide, her ability to consume, specifically ring a bell. And she points to two names of the individual, two names out of like four. And these two, they were Slua.
I was guessing that one of them was, at least.
They
consume. I would bet that there was a red cap in there.
And she points to another name, this one right here. Redcaps and Slua, we are not like the other Cathane who come from such lovely and bright and energetic dreams. We are darker, nightmare kids. Maybe not as dark as some. She kind of gives like a snarl as she says that.
You are not Thelaine.
Precisely. But there is a certain familiarity that some of my kind feel with Mara that others may not appreciate as much. I don't think that the initial gift was meant as a malicious intent as much as it was a gift to a mother figure, perhaps.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. Did you miss any of that?
I think I caught everything up to mother figure.
Yep, that was the last bit.
Okay. Wait, so Mara's connected to the original Slua.
Well, as somebody who works with fears and the dreams inspired by those fears, yes, in a way she is connected to the original Slua, the original Redcaps. I would hesitate to say the original Thelaine, though. They're malicious without consideration.
As I understand it, Mara certainly has consideration.
Indeed. The nightmares that she sends, they are very personal.
Yes. Yes, they are. And they have a purpose. That's the thing about it. There is a purpose to them. It's not malicious.
Indeed. Just because something is frightening does not mean it's inherently evil.
I'll be honest, it was my first thought, but once I learned more, I realized that we can't just be going Team Mara, Team Baku, no, we need both.
She gives a quiet nod as she sips at her tea. So, what is it that you would like me to help you with as far as oneiromancy goes?
Well, I've learned through various means, and can you read Japanese?
I can't without like a translation guide.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what then. I was just going to offer you the chance to read something. And she'll pull out the book that she, the one written in Japanese that she found at the, that was, it was, what's her name's? I can't remember her name, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll set this down. I was going to offer you the chance to read this book as I've read it and Charles has. But if you can't read it, I'll see if I can make you a translation to read.
She looks at the book with a kind of a longing look, even though she can't read it. She appreciates old books.
He's just not stopping her. If she wants to look through it at the pictures or any of that stuff, she can totally flip through it. Like, she kind of did slide it over so you could see it, but...
And yeah, she'll definitely be just sort of glancing through and looking at some of it. So you can read Japanese?
I am Japanese. Well, Japanese American, yes.
Well, what does it say?
Time for me to pull that up. Give me a second. Because I did not think I was.
You can just say she tells her what it said.
Yeah, fine. That's fine. Because let's just do that. Because otherwise I gotta dig out my. I have a file of the things that it said. But yeah, she'll describe the story and the detail. She's not going to hide anything from this book. The only thing she would have hidden maybe a little bit was from the journal, which she doesn't actually have. William has that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she'll tell the story that's in the book.
That's amazing. And where did you find this book?
I decided to take one last look at the Rancher's freehold. Well, their former freehold. There are now new caretakers. And I decided to take one last look before the new caretakers came in. It's kind of underwater now.
What were the Ranters doing with this book?
They were going to try to change the Baku. That's how this all got messed up, because they kidnapped the Baku. They had it in chains. And obviously we didn't know.
Foolishly attempting to change these creatures without knowing what they are. How could we know what they are? They are so much older than any of us.
I agree. The thing is, since we did not know that the Baku was down there, we somehow kind of inadvertently managed to strip the Baku of its magic for what would have been a week, and we found a way to get it to make it able to change so that it can fight again.
Mm-hmm.
But it also took away the stuff that balanced the Baku, which we didn't know that this was even a thing at that point. We were just trying to fix the problem at hand.
It does seem as though it's a complicated series of events.
Yes. And at this point, we have found a way to speak with Mara. I'm trying to find a way to speak with the Baku. And as we understand it from a source, there was an oneromancer among the Ranters that was dreaming sweetly due to the oneromancy part, and caught the Baku's attention. And when the Baku left, it said that the best way to speak to the Baku again is to dream sweetly. We need to find some way to try to gather this information from. We're just trying to get all the rest of the information. If we could find out, say, what gifts were given to the Baku to balance it, that would help. We're trying to figure out some way to speak to the Baku, since Mara is not hard to do. If you look in your nightmares, you can find. I know exactly where I heard Mara in mine. But please go on.
The two of them fight to the death, don't they?
Yes, every night, as I understand it.
So it seems as though with oneromancy, I can change a dream, but I am not Baku. So, while it may be a sweet dream, it would not be one of Baku's sweet dreams. I think that whoever pulled Baku must have been having one of these dreams. And as an oneiromancer, when one is skilled enough, we can pull creatures from sleep itself.
Okay.
But have you considered summoning Baku via more traditional means?
What sort of traditional means? Like a Ouija board? Because I think that might not be quite our area.
I mean, the thing that created Baku. Children calling out to it to consume their nightmares. Or perhaps a childling?
Oh, see, I don't think she knows any childlings anymore, does she?
She lives with one.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
But even if you don't want to use him, you can go back. I mean, if not you, other people. It's not a linear thing anymore.
Yeah. That's certainly a method to try. I mean, why not? It doesn't hurt to try it.
I suppose if you made it a safe place for this person to call out for help.
I can make places really safe. Speaking of which, next time I do that, if you'd like to come over, you are quite welcome. I found a way to get around the dreams, at least temporarily.
Well, thank you for the offer. I may take you up on that sometime.
A night's rest is good. Just at least once in a while, right?
Yes. Thankfully, my day job doesn't really require all that much restfulness.
Now I'm curious. What is your day job?
She gives a toothless smile. She says, I play a violin down below.
Oh, like in like a subway station or something?
Mm-hmm.
So you busk. That's pretty cool.
It works for me. Mom and Dad made sure I was classically trained, and as somebody setting out to seek my fortune. She kind of chuckles at that because that is no way to make a fortune.
Unless you miraculously like make it big or something, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know, if it makes you happy, that's kind of the whole point, right?
I enjoy it. It's I don't have to deal with the hustle and bustle of the 9 to 5 grind, and nobody is going to complain if I don't show up to work to stick around the books.
Misha just kind of blinks because she is the one who handles the books.
So she's talking about her books, but yes.
Yes. Misha handles all the books. All of them. Okay. I think if I were to do a fairy ring, I should be able to make things safe, and I'll just have to talk to my friend. See if he's willing to do it. Because I know my roommate is so tired of these nightmares.
Who's your roommate? If you don't mind my asking. If it's a private issue, I understand.
No, it's not private. Did you see when I was William's champion and I fought the big troll?
I've heard of it. I wasn't there for it though.
Well, I won. And he came to himself just outside, in the gray world. And, he moved in pretty much right after that. He's a good guy. He's like a really good guy, way better than I am.
Don't sell yourself short.
I'm not, I'm just honest. But I think he'd be willing to do it because it's really just calling to the Baku, and it's not like that's really all that scary. I'll just have to talk to him. Because I feel certain that he is possibly the only childling I know.
Well,
which is impressive for someone who was a slave in the dreaming for 100 years.
Goodness.
Yeah. It's been a trip teaching him how today's world works.
Well, I do hope that he is okay in all of this.
He's not. But I'm doing my best to make sure he's got as much of an advantage as he can.
You're a better person than you think you are.
She just looks away. Like, Misha clearly does not believe this.
Well, if you need help with any preparations to make the Baku more comfortable, I can't say I'm used to playing host to gods, but I'm sure that if you ask around, there will be people who can lend their aid.
I'm not entirely certain of what would make the Baku comfortable. Aside from if I can do the circle, then that would ensure safety as much as possible from my end.
Well, if you do the circle, then there won't be nightmares for the Baku to come rescue the childling from.
That's fair. Then how would we could do it in the freehold?
I think a freehold might be a good place for a creature of the dreaming.
Yeah, I think we would perhaps even by the balefire.
It seems like a good place to start.
Oh god, that means getting Bill into the freehold. Oh well. He's had to come in a few times recently because, well, otherwise he would never have a night without nightmares too. Okay. Well, this is a good working plan at this point. Do you want me to make a translation of the book? It would take me some time, but I can do it for you.
I would like that very much. I think it would be an excellent addition to my collection.
She nods. Yeah, I'll do that for you. No problem.
Thank you very much, Misha. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
I don't think so. You've been very helpful.
I wish I could have been more helpful. If you do ever want to learn the ways of oneromancy, please Don't hesitate to ask.
Thanks. I might just take you up on that at some point. And oh yeah, she'll go ahead and finish her tea. I'm assuming it was pretty close at that point.
Yeah. And Vanessa will straighten up and gather the dishes to go rinse them and wash them. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I don't think so. But I think I should probably go try to find Bill, if that's okay with you, Carol.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just make sure I have him available. Yeah.
But maybe I can go try to find Bill and see what he thinks of the whole thing.
Well, have a good day, Misha.
Thank you again.
And
she will pick up the book and tuck it back into her bag. Mm-hmm. Look around for Inaba to make sure Inaba's not like doing anything too weird. But int 3 means if she does it, it's on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she'll just be like, "Come on, let's go," and she will start to head out, assuming that this bunny follows her.
Yeah. And Bill will probably be back at the apartment because it's a little late to be at the pigeon sanctuary.
Yeah, she would have. That's where she would have gone first, anyways. He probably doesn't answer his phone terribly well, so she probably just would have gone directly there and tried the phone only if he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll be crumbling up bread in a bowl that he has written Hall on.
Hall probably loves this. I'm just imagining rat poison or something being mixed in, and Hall just eats it, and he's like, "This is good," because he has the poison intolerance.
Oh no, he wouldn't poison a bird. That means he's a nice bird. why he's giving him breadcrumbs.
There's a bread, but the bowl says Hall on it. That's the most amazing thing ever.
Probably drawn on with Sharpie.
Yeah, probably. That just makes it better.
These are Hall's crumbs.
He does have the window, the special window that he can get in.
Mm-hmm. And now he has a special bowl.
I feel like Marco needs to know this.
That's fine.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So Misha's actually gonna grab the Sharpie from wherever it is and walk over next to Bill. She's not being quiet. She just walks over next to him and she's gonna draw a smiley face next to Hall on the bowl.
He looks and he's like, it's a very nice picture that you put there. I think you'll really like the smiley face. It's a very happy bowl now.
Yeah. I just wanted my mark to be on there too. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Well, I just went and talked to Vanessa. I don't think you've met her. She's a really nice Slua who has a library in Staten Island.
Oh, Staten Island's not a good place to be right now.
I agree. I agree completely. The potholes were terrible.
The birds don't like it.
Nobody likes it. I don't even think she likes it. But she also has the books and the knowledge I needed. We're trying to get a hold of the Baku. And I've told you about how that, how that all works at this point. Vanessa's idea was that because see, the way the Baku came to be was because children, or we're hoping childlings will work, were crying out for someone to take away their nightmares.
Do you think he'd help me?
That's what I'm hoping. Would you be willing to do it? Like, to maybe not tonight, because I mean, I don't know, maybe not tonight. It's a little like late or whatever. And I'd rather do it at the Freehold, where we can offer a safe place for Baku to come.
He does that sort of thing where it's like he's like weighing things in his mind, and it probably takes a moment because he's not the fastest thinker.
She's patient. With him, not with everybody. With him.
The Freehold with the scary mouth.
Yeah, the same place that I've managed to get you some really good sleep finally, at least for a few times.
Would you be making this sleep thing again?
I can't, but I can definitely do it the day after for you. I can't do it then because if you don't have the nightmares, then we can't get the Baku.
I don't like the nightmares.
I know. I don't either. They suck. That's why I'm asking if you'll do it. If you say no, I will look for somebody else.
He's like idly kind of rubbing at his wrists where the shackles used to be as he thinks. If it'll help get rid of the nightmares, I'll help.
It's just the one night, and I promise you I will get you a good night's sleep the next night.
Okay. I think I can do that.
You're awesome, Bill.
Do you think that your bird needs more protein? He seems a little nervous these days. When the pigeons, when they come in, we have to blend up worms and put them in eyedroppers, but he doesn't seem like he would need an eyedropper. So maybe if I just blended up some of the worms from work that I have and mix them in with the bread, it would help him be less shaky.
He's had some pretty bad nightmares lately, too.
I'll blend up the worms, he says. And unless you stop him, he's about to load up your blender with earthworms.
She does not care. She doesn't actually cook that much. If there's a blender in there, it probably has to do with him more than her. She might have bought it for him at some point.
Mm. So yeah, he starts making like the kind of thing that you feed like baby birds, this like horrible bug milkshake, and just kind of like pours it over the bread, making like a very soppy horror of bread pudding in a bowl labeled Hall.
Yeah.
Face.
Misha's just kind of watching this whole thing. Like she's not repulsed. She actually is kind of like intrigued by this whole thing. And she's just kind of watching this whole thing and kind of moving closer to look at it, and she's just kind of like, I almost feel bad for the worms.
Oh no, they go very quickly. Blenders are a fast way to go.
Here, let me get a picture. And she's gonna pull her phone out, and she's gonna like try to get Bill to like, take a picture with the Hall bowl with the goo in it.
He'll hold up the Hall bowl and like pour some more of the mixture into the Hall bowl for a picture.
She's totally doing this, and she's going to send it to Hall with the caption, "There's dinner here for you."
Finally, something worse than the vegan turducken.
Except that Hall will probably eat it. Damn puka. I think they all eat everything crazy.
Everything is dare food with the puka.
Yeah, and she's just gonna be like, I think he'll like that. That straight face.
That's good.
He'll
Gotta
be
take
able,
care of the birds.
he's a really weird bird.
He seems like a really nice bird, and you seem happy when he's around. I'm happy when my birds are around too, though.
Yeah. I'm glad you have your birds. You like this job you got, right?
Very much. The little pigeons, their feathers are yellow and they look like Woodstock from Snoopy.
That I'm glad we found you this job.
Me too.
I didn't want you to end up stuck in some terrible job that you would hate. This is better than that.
He gives a smile and nods.
Well, we could actually set the bowl right in front of his window if you want. I'm about to go open it, so, undo the little, because it actually has a little thing, like a little thing on it, so that she can lock it locked. So you know what I mean. So it's not like basically it's not like giving him a key, even though he probably still has one right now, but. But she'll move over to undo the thing, and she'll just be like, you could put this right here on the table in front of the window so that he'll see it when he comes in.
I'll do that. And he sets it in front of the window where if Paul is not incredibly observant, he may step in it.
And that is absolutely perfect as far as Misha is concerned. It's all about setting passive-aggressive little traps for her boyfriend.
Such a lovely couple.
It works for them. I don't know. But yeah, she's at that point we could probably just sort of let it go, because he's agreed to do the thing. We can do actually do it another time when other people can be around and stuff.
Yeah. That way, people can actually meet the Baku and talk with him.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much can be the end of it, as the two of them stand there and look at this incredibly nasty bread goo of worms. Worm bread goo.
Worm bread pudding.
Ugh.
All right. Well, then this is where we end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll gross you out next time.